Welcome, everybody, to the October Prayer Zoom Vision Call. Sean Foyt here, and this is our 10th month in a row of hosting these Zoom interactive sessions where we can share with you as our ministry what God has been doing, share with you some of the highlights and some of the vision. The Lord prompted me very strongly earlier this year that this was going to be a prominent part of our activities, was to keep people updated. Normally, you guys know we're flying 1,000,000 miles an hour all over the place, but I really felt compelled it was important to keep people updated with what we're doing, share with people our challenges, share with so many of you out there that support our ministry through prayer, through financial donations, through even just showing up. And so it's in that heart that I'm coming to you tonight. But I wanted to not just show this as a Zoom for those that are on the call right now. I wanted to blast this out farther. I feel like the events of the last several weeks are significant enough that I wanted to kind of more or less address what I've been feeling in my heart, what we've all been experiencing. And first, I want to start with our vision, our verse that's kind of guided a lot of our vision with let us worship in our ministry over the last year. It comes out of Isaiah 61, and this is what you guys have probably been seeing with the Revive in 2025. I try to read this every month just to remind everybody what the Lord calls us to do. It says in Isaiah 61, the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me because he's anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor, sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. And that's been our guiding verse this year as a ministry, as the Lord sent us into these cities and nations around the world that a lot of people are fleeing from and leaving, and they think they're hopeless, and they're why would you even go there? Why would a ministry try to penetrate into these dark places? But yet that's exactly the mandate God's given us. Now, this year has been the most fruitful, I would say, for our ministry in terms of our reach and our events and just the power and the anointing of God that's been poured out. But it's also been the most warfare filled. And the beginning of the year, I started writing a book on spiritual warfare. I felt like that was a big mandate God put on me. I've written a bunch of books, but I'm not a guy that I'm not on a cycle to write one every year, every other year. I only really want to write one when I feel the fire and I feel God impressed me to. Well, I started writing this book on spiritual warfare in January, not realizing that I was going to literally live through it and that we would face unbelievable amounts of attacks from all different areas, from all levels throughout the year. But I definitely didn't expect to witness what we all witnessed just 3 weeks ago, where one of my friends, a guy that I've walked with over the last 6 years, be publicly assassinated on a college campus. That was so shocking and disturbing and heart-wrenching. And obviously, we're seeing what God is doing with Charlie's life after his death, and we're seeing this hunger, and we're seeing so many people turn their hearts to the Lord. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've been privileged to help be a part of and host some of those vigils that we've done. We're going to actually be in Chicago tomorrow night, doing another night of worship and prayer in Charlie's hometown. And by the way, we're going to be live streaming that. This is stuff that we didn't even plan as a ministry. We didn't plan in our calendar. We didn't plan even financially, but yet God has opened these doors. And so we've live streamed actually 2 of these, one in LA and one in the Kennedy Center. And we're actually going to do one tomorrow in Chicago as well. So stay tuned. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's going to be really powerful. But I think the number one question I've been asked, and by the way, just for those of you that don't know, Charlie was the first guy, the first prominent voice to really endorse me when I decided to run for Congress back in 2019. It was a crazy idea. I was a worship leader and a missionary, and obviously not known in the political space. It wasn't anything I ever really wanted to do, but I really felt the call of the Lord to do it. And Charlie had my back. He got behind me and blasted out the endorsement and gave me his advice and wisdom. And then, we walked together. We did podcasts. We did events together. I did a lot of the Turning Point events, their big events towards the end of the year. I think 3 or 4 times I did worship for that whole thing, and been there with the president and even as we launched the Kingdom to the Capital tour, we did that in tandem the first year with Turning Point. So and I was just texting with him actually the day before he graduated to eternity, and so I've been asked a number of questions that I want to answer here. The first one, everybody's, a lot of people have texted me from across the world and reached out to me. Are you worried for your safety too? And what does this mean for you and the threats? And, I think most people know that we do more outdoor events than probably anyone in America. We have for the last 5 years. Of course, we have threats all the time, and you guys have seen that. And, a lot of people I think there's people that have in the past tried to make it seem like we've over dramatized those threats, but they're real, and so I think you have a choice when you see something like that happen to one of your friends. It's like you can cower in fear and worry. And obviously me and my wife have had a lot of conversations and broken that fear off. But then there's something inside of you that just roars. And I think it's happening across America. This spirit of courage and boldness and might is rising up. And that's why I wanted to title this call, and even in this address, is it's time to double down. I feel, something came over me. We were in the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. We were hosting a vigil a few weeks ago, and I was there with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and RFK and Anna Paula Luna, the Congresswoman, and Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, and all these people. And I was leading worship, and I felt this stirring to sing that song from an Indian martyr. I think it was from the 30s, or maybe even earlier, the 20s. I have decided to follow Jesus. And it was this moment in the Kennedy Center where we're grappling with the tragic loss of a 31-year-old, for many people, hero in the faith, and for me, just a friend and an incredible leader and an encourager. Charlie would always send Bible verses. We'd send Bible verses back and forth. But in that moment, when we started to sing that hymn, something powerful happened. And in the Kennedy Center there in the heart of DC, I had everybody lift up their phones and put the light on their phones and lift it up. And we illuminated this dark performance hall, this historical dark performance hall, just with the lights of our phones, but really with the light of our hearts. It was like something happened in the room in that moment. It was so profound. And of course, there's been many other moments of worship at his memorial and other places that have now gone viral around the world. And I'm excited, actually, tonight at midnight, we're taking that live sound that was captured, and it's just a live raw track of us singing that hymn, and we're releasing it. It's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be an encouragement to everybody. It's really rough and raw, but it's real. And I think my heart in all of this is, even as I look forward to what we're doing as a ministry, typically the fall, this time is, we've been going really hard during the year. We've done a million things, which we have. And so now is our time to kind of wind down a little bit. And it gives me the freedom to kind of plug into with my kids and what they're doing and be more present and be around for the holidays. But I feel this stirring, like leading up to tomorrow night in Chicago, leading up to next week in Dallas on Friday night. We're going to be in Dallas for Let Us Worship. We're hosting a night of worship there, and then we're doing a massive men's conference, which I feel like is so needed in America right now. Just the rise of godly masculinity. And so we're doing that, and then we're going to a college campus, LSU, actually 3 days after when Charlie was scheduled to be there. And we're doing it on October 31st, probably one of the #1 party schools in America, Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge, and we're bringing revival and the fire of God to the heart of the college campuses. You know, that was Charlie's heart, was to see an awakening in the campuses. And so we're going to carry that on. And then, you know, obviously several things, and then we lead into New Year's in the baseball stadium in Florida. But I think my heart tonight is I just want to encourage everybody. I'm in the midst of writing this, finishing this manuscript, which should be done tomorrow. I have to submit it tomorrow. So probably on the plane to Chicago, I'll send it to the publisher. This is a season of intense spiritual warfare and struggle and loss and in many ways difficulty, but it's also at the same time a season of great glory. And I think if Charlie would have been presented with the opportunity, or any Christian out there, that they could sacrificially give their life to see the result of what's happened in the last several weeks, I would give my life to see that reward. I mean, it's just unfathomable. The enemy, like the devil thought he won. The devil always overplays his hand. That's a thing that you hear us say constantly. The devil always overplays his hand, and what he doesn't realize is that right now in this season, God is absolutely taking this tragedy, which I don't believe he caused. I don't believe he caused that. I don't have the theology that says that God sends assassins' bullets. However, I know that God can and will and is using this moment for his glory. And you know, you see the preaching videos that are going viral right now. You see the vigils that are happening in campuses. You see the hunger. You see, I think pastors are reporting right now a 15% return to church. And I think more than anything, you see this beautiful moment in the body of Christ where it's like we got to lay down our petty differences. We got to lay down the things that divide and distract. And it's like this year, it's like that's been one of the biggest challenges for us, for me, is like stay focused on what God has called us to do. Do not get distracted. Do not let the enemy steal our attention or our affection, or do not let the drama or whatever, all the things out here distract from what God has in store. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but just a couple quick updates, and then I'll move into a time where you can ask questions. It has been uncovered in the last 48 hours that the guy that broke into the church and threw the smoke bombs, for those that aren't aware of this story, we were in Canada and we were doing an 11-city worship, Let Us Worship tour across Canada. I've been ministering there for 20 years. Never had an issue in Canada. It's always been a place that's been amazing for us. However, this year, like, the warfare was insane. And all the venues except for 2 were canceled by the cities and the provinces. But then almost every single place we went had crazy protesters, and really nasty ones, like a lot of Antifa, a lot of these militant, angry, like demonic people. And in Montreal, one of those guys broke through into side of a church, threw smoke bombs at us inside of a church. And one of the things that was interesting was these were like, they seemed to be like military grade or some kind of crazy smoke bomb I hadn't seen before. I mean, the amount of smoke that filled the room was crazy. And so anyway, you know, there was a reward out to find the guy. Of course, the government's not motivated up there. It doesn't seem to find the guy that would do that. But a journalist found the guy, and come to find out in the last 48 hours, we've uncovered that this guy, that Antifa guy, works for the Canadian military as a defense contractor and has been operating a secret Antifa cell under the military. Like, this is mind-boggling. right? So like, and this guy in the Canadian military operating this Antifa cell has a hit list with my name on it, targeted us. I mean, stirred up other people to target us. Like, this is serious, you know? And it's like all of a sudden we realize, I think in the moment, it's kind of like, all right, well, this guy's crazy, whatever. No, this is a dark thing here. Like, this is a serious, and we encountered the same thing in Seattle. The chat boards, that have been uncovered, and the online forums in the wake of the assassination of all of these Antifa and these really gnarly people have put these boards together of the events, our events, me talking about how what happened in Seattle was the worst PR nightmare for them because the media was out there and they were able to see the distinction between our people that were worshiping peacefully and joyfully and the people that were verbally and crazy going after us, with the nastiest stuff. And the press and the media and the mayor and everybody was able to see that distinction very clearly. This stuff is starting to unravel. Like, there's a great exposing that's happening right now. And so, I think my request right now, just quickly here, is number one, we need prayer that God would give us the ability to steward whatever he wants to do in the wake of this horrific loss. We know historically that the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. We know that when something like this takes place, it stirs people up to either choose fear or choose faith. And we're seeing people across America return to faith. And so we just need prayer on how we can, my goal and my heart in this is not to expand the tents of conservatism. It's to press in for revival. And I think starting tomorrow night, even, I hope that you can tune in and watch as we join with the Flashpoint crew up in Chicago, and we're going to go after it together. And we're going to do that with all of our events moving forward, just like we've always done. Secondly, would just be wisdom on where to go, how to go. I'm not a person that succumbs to fear. People talk to me all the time about security, and some places we have good security, some places we don't, and we just go where God leads us, and we want to move forward with that. Obviously, want to be careful and want to use caution and wisdom, but I don't want to let fear hold us back from anything. And so, prayer for that. Obviously, prayers financially for the way ahead. We have these big events, and then some of the other ones that we've done that weren't in our budget, that we just did them. The thing about our ministry that you probably have seen is the Lord has been very specific on making sure as we plan our schedule that we create margins, meaning that we create the ability to go where he says to go and do what he says to do, and that it's not determined by, if we have the money or not. No, we just want to go. Right. And so we've done a lot of that this year. We have exhausted the margins because of all the extra things we've done. So it would be amazing if those that are on here would feel led to partner with us to sow into revival. I think we have 5 years of proof that we're going to do everything that we say we're going to do, and we have, and we'll continue to do even more. So we have 3 massive events. They're obviously very expensive, and we do not ever want to charge for people to come, including New Year's Eve in the baseball stadium. We don't want to charge. We want people to just come and encounter God. That's always been our heart, and that will always remain our heart. And then I think on a personal note, 3, if you could just pray for my family. My kids, they go to school. My wife has friends. Everybody knows that we were close with Charlie, and we did stuff together. And I think people, they throw on the fears that they have for you, that they have secretly. A lot of times they kind of can throw them on you. So just prayers for my family, my kids, my wife. We've had just a lot of discussions over the last several weeks, and I think this has been really good, but it's been difficult. This day and age, all the kids in my daughter, she's in high school, and all of the kids were talking about it. All of the kids saw it horrifically. And so having to be a dad, to walk my daughter through that, knowing that we do stuff all over the world, and she's seen the letters that come to our house with the horrible things and the threats. And so just prayer for my family would be amazing. So anyway, God bless you guys. Listen, I want to invite you to join us tomorrow night. Actually, 3 things as a takeaway, and then we'll do questions. Number 1, I'm hoping to do the pre-order for the book tomorrow. If I can submit it, they're going to give me the link to pre-order, and I'll share it with you guys. You can pre-order this book on spiritual warfare. And then secondly, at midnight, prayerfully, if all goes well, this hymn, No Turning Back, captured live, is going to be released. It's just raw and wild and awesome, and it just there's something special about it. And then lastly, please join us if you can tomorrow night. We'll be blasting live from Charlie's hometown area, Chicagoland area. It's technically Indiana, but right across the border there. And it's going to be an awesome night. And I'm so pumped that we get to bring so many of you that can't fit in the room with us there tomorrow night. It's going to be really powerful. So God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this. Encourage, if you're not following the channels and blah, 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 do all that stuff. I'm horrible at marketing that, but please keep along with the journey with us. Keep praying with us. Keep journeying with us. This is an incredible season of revival. We all can feel it. We all can sense it. God bless you guys.